Hi, it's me here to talk again about some energetic subjects. Energy, my favorite subject. Today, I want to talk about why men should marry younger women. They shouldn't be marrying women the same age as them. Certainly not. They shouldn't be getting married between 20 and 30, especially through the institution of marriage like church or anything like that. Commitments and experimentation and having fun is all in. What is not a good idea is to commitment too early, because then what happens is by the time you're 40 or 50, you will not want to stay with the same woman, or you'll feel like life has passed you by, and then you'll want to have fun and experiment, and that's what's happening everywhere. Occasionally, and a few of them, men do stay with the same woman for 50, 60, 70 years. It's not love, it's just you get used to the other person, and I suppose that could be love as well. But really, what happens is the progression of society, which is getting married, settling down for 50 years, retiring, having a family, and then going on holidays and then waiting to die, isn't the ideal situation, especially for men who, by the time they get to 50, should be experiencing life all over again. That's their prime. 50 is the prime. They're not old at 50. Certainly not at 60. So it just depends on the health. But we've seen a decline in the health of the masculine everywhere, generally all over the planet, for various reasons. They work harder, maybe. There's more suppressed emotions. There's a lot going on there, which we can go into various details about. Schooling system, the foods that we're eating, living too soft or becoming too used to routines that will kill a person. So you can see that that's happening. So anyway, when a man, if he's taking care of himself and he's fantastically in shape and he's really caring about it, how he should be, starting from at least his 30s into his 50s, 60s, 70s even, then you will see a huge sudden influx of power coming at 50. Once you've gained all the experience that you need, starting from your 20s, where you start just beginning, until you get to your 30s. And by 40, you should then start considering marrying a younger woman, even 15 to 20 years younger, not only to keep you healthy, to keep you active, to keep you going in various ways, like health-wise, sexual ways. The woman will always keep the man younger, especially if she's young and excited and fresh. So what will happen is that will completely change the way a man thinks about himself as well. It gives him more confidence, more ability to enjoy things that he would have done in his 20s, but now he's got a second chance of doing it again, and not thinking of retiring at 50 is ridiculous. 50 is when you start the power cycle for men. So really, they should marry younger women. Wait, just experiment. Don't do like they do in my country, which is Cyprus, and marry when 20, and then marry a 21-year-old, and then the two of them are forced together for 30 years. He will never stay faithful unless he's absolutely suppressed. And if he does stay faithful, it usually is for other reasons. Maybe he's lost himself in some way. There's a crisis right now in the masculine energy. So, and this is part of it, that they are not allowed to be that way. In Cyprus, let's take that part of the world, men either are gone into the underworld, drugs, mafia, women, whatever, porn, strippers, gambling, drugs, whatever, or they've gone the other way. They're middle class, they're living with a wife, she might be cheating, or he's completely turned to a different project and indifferent to her, or he's secretly in a different world. Loads of things going on in that reptilian nest in Cyprus, which I'll address at a whole other time. But yeah, so if he wants to get into his full power, a man will be experimenting, not committing to anybody until he's absolutely in his 40s. I mean, a man could commit at 25 for a few years, but not through marriage or anything like that, but just to experiment, to try out what he thinks, to gain the experience. That's what relationships are. They're for balance, learning, and growth. They're not there till death do you part. That's the church coming up with that to control sexuality. And everyone knows how much I love the church. Zero. Nobody has any right to tell anybody what to do. I'm not telling you what to do, but it is just part of a different way of perceiving things. Maybe pushing out of the boundaries so that you're not committed to just one person. Men are rejecting marriage anyway now, so it really is happening by itself. Now, for the woman, what you ask, what happens when she gets to that age and then she's got no husband? Because if he passes, or if he's interested in somebody else and he's 55, 60, decides to find somebody else, you're 30, 35, and then you start looking for a different man, or a woman who reaches 50 or 55 and she isn't, a man, a 70 won't be interested in her maybe because he's lost his interest, anything. Well, she can definitely go with a younger man. I'm not saying that, because the men are all experimenting in their 20s and 30s. So that would be a good advice. But generally, because of a woman's hormones, she may not be interested as much anymore in that. And if that's the case, then her greatest source of power is through her own womb and through her creativity and through connecting to the spirit and to the universe. She will find her greatest power there. So there's no reason for men to be committed so due to the church's laws and laws of women who have decided to impose their female standards of behavior on men, which is outrageous, because there's no way either of us are the same. The genders are so different, and men's hunting abilities have definitely been quashed. And this is why you're seeing all this backlash everywhere, and why misogyny is soon on the rise.